afternoon. Good afternoon. Did I say good afternoon? All right. You know, he's expecting a little bit of singing here. Hey, Michelle. I saw you watched the rewatch earlier. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it. I'm not taking my meds. Stupid, stupid. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. So I was thinking of a saying, right? And it started out like this, that the alcoholic mind is just a dangerous place to live. Then I thought, the alcoholic mind is the neighborhood your parents told you not to visit. Right? Something like that. My brain's just a bad neighborhood, man. All right. Oh, I just put out a post. See, the other day I said I'm gonna stop putting out posts and stuff because people are being blah blah blah, and people are like, no, don't stop doing that. We like what you're at. I'm like, oh, so I did one today. People got a little upset with. They didn't get upset with me. What I said was, if you're into name calling and putting people down, just leave my page. If you want to stick to facts and proof and things like, fucking go for it, do it. It's when the name calling starts. That's when I'm out. Enough with the fucking name calling. We are not going to get anywhere because when it turns into name calling, it is just, let's say I am name calling. It just means that Dion has a low self esteem and he refuses to work on it. That's what that means. It's all name calling is. There's always buzzwords around it. Right now, the word people are using is toxic, narcissist, these types of things. These things are what I would call name calling. Yep, there would be name calling. All right. And you're suddenly a doctor and you know what a narcissist is. I'm not saying people aren't in these things, but usually when somebody else is calling somebody else toxic, it is because you're an asshole. Sorry, but that's just the truth. And that's what we need to work with. Hey, Michelle says, question: if we're in recovery and using the tools, is our mind still dangerous? I think that's a very, first of all, very good question, I think. And I think that yes and no. I think it depends on our attitude. And I think that is something for the individual to determine. Yeah. Is my mind still dangerous? Well, in the last week, if you reacted to something you need to make an amends for, doesn't really necessarily make it dangerous. So it's going to depend upon, it really depends upon actions, what we're doing. There are plenty of people out there that are in quote unquote recovery. And you're in recovery when you say you're in recovery. That's part of the problem in that one. But opinion only. All right. And we start to say dangerous stuff. We'll say dangerous stuff thinking we're doing the right thing. Remember, yesterday I was talking about an alcoholic with no accountability usually does the wrong thing, even though we think our intentions are correct. Even though we think our intentions are correct. See, it's when Dion determines what needs to happen, what's going to be when it gets into that That's when we are in a dangerous area. When I start deciding what other people need to do. Let's say I'm talking to somebody and you're gonna sponsor people like this with things other than alcoholism. Maybe they're bipolar, maybe they're schizophrenic, maybe they have depression, PTSD. As a sponsor, I do not get to say things like you need to go to therapy. I'm not going to say that to anybody. What I will say is I go to therapy for some of the stuff that you go through, and it's worked out really well for me. Do you hear the difference? It is because the intention is different. The first intention is me wanting me to tell you what to do because I think I know what is best for you, even though I do not have all the facts. The other one is just plain experience and is based in fact. That's the difference. Oh, you're Craig. You're crazy. You know how many times people call me? I've heard crazy all the time. I've heard crazy all my life. And am I? Eh, by definition, am I? Yeah, actually, I am. By definition, yeah, I'm loony. I'm crazy. I've got 5 mental illnesses. Woohoo! We're gonna just keep stacking them. I'm sure. I'm sure I'm gonna have dementia as I get older. But in my world, I'll probably call it purposeful forgetting. Right, right, very well, right. So, what is it with intentions? And why did I put these together? Because I need transparency to figure out my intentions. I should have put it transparency, then intentions. Be transparent, right? And a lot of things out there that lead you to things that lead you to things, they're not transparent. And it's something that I'm going to kind of be helping with. So I'm pretty transparent. There's a, am I full of shit here and there? Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, man. But who's the first person to call me out when I see it? Because you know it's shit when it comes out of your mouth. It might be fine in the brain, but it comes out of my mouth. I'm like, oh yeah, strike that. That was crap. Earlier, I made an amends to my cat right in front of you, just so you can see how it's done. Just so you can see how it's done. Why not? Do you think I'm going to be embarrassed? Please. It'll take a lot more than that to embarrass me. All right. So let's start with transparency. Let's start with welcome to the Daily Trudge, Dion. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Definition of transparency. And turn it down so you don't have to hear it. You don't have to hear it twice, although the voice on here is probably preferred to my voice. Maybe. I don't know. I've got one of those voices. If I talked really slow and methodical, I'll put your ass to sleep. I've got one of those swaying voices that just kind of feel the rocking of your body and falling asleep. And given the right words, I can do it. Hello, other kitty. All right, so transparency. The quality of allowing light to pass through so that an object behind can distinct. That's not what we're looking for. The quality of being easy to perceive or detect. Right? The transparency of their predatory motives. Right? Um, transparency. Here's what's simple: the quality of being easily seen through. There we go. We can work with that. Ryan, come up here. Dear Lord. Right? So I try and be easy to understand. I try and use everyday language. You know, there's nothing worse than a recovery coach saying substance use disorder or alcohol use disorder. Oh, you just a little wubby today. Yes, you are. Right? But without rigorous honesty. And a rigorous honesty is an inside honesty, right? Like I'm getting ready to do this, but what are my intentions? And I will say right now, my intentions are not always good. They're not always good, man. Sometimes I have to backtrack and apologize and do stuff. Sometimes I don't. If I don't stick to fact, it seems to blow up in my face. That's what seems to happen, right? If I can't be transparent with you, then I certainly can't be transparent with myself, which means I'm never going to grow. You know, I spent most of my life fucking hiding from everything, and I don't want to hide. There is no amount of shame that you could provide me that I have not already done myself. No, there's not anything in this world left that you could take and use against me in order to get to me or put me down, things like that. Until it comes to name calling, huh? And gee, what is the lowest form of debate? Name calling. Name calling. Right? Like yo mama jokes and stuff. I mean, there's some things that we do that, are funny. Stop fighting me. Stop. See, he doesn't care. He's gonna do it again. Stop. Here, we'll do this. He can't help it. It's his. It doesn't hurt. Well, it hurts a little bit when he bites me, but I mean, fuck. I'm Gen X. I'm kind of tough that way, especially my fingers because we played in the dirt. We have very strong hands. See, strong hands. I'm gonna pop this kitty head. Pop. Yes. But when cats nibble on you like that, it's just a one way that they're showing you love because he doesn't know what else to do. Because I'm crazy. Raw, raw, raw. Go ahead, kitty. All right. Did I just become transparent one day? No. I had to work on it. I sometimes I got to go out of my way to be transparent. And people tell me all the time, they're like, I love your transparency. Okay? It's when they bring out the word vulnerable that I start getting a little pissy. So I'm not vulnerable. Vulnerable, no. And I might tell you now, vulnerable isn't necessarily a bad word. I take it wrong because I want to. Can't have everything. All my being transparent. I mean, right above there, Club Trudge, right there, it says leadership by example, and that's the way we try and do it here. All right. So I got to be transparent with myself. Why am I doing this? Okay. Am I? What am I trying to gain? Because there's always a motive. You cannot ignore motive. You can't ignore it. What is my motive here? Am I looking for loves? Am I looking for likes? Am I looking to help another person? Am I looking to steal a little bit of vicarious pleasure from the moment? What am I trying to do here? Am I adding to the moment? Am I taking from the moment? Am I making the moment better? Am I making the moment worse? Welcome, Sip Society. Good to have you. Happy Friday to you too. Happy Sober Friday. Or as my friend Leisure says, fuck yeah, Friday. For me, it don't matter. Friday's like Saturday or Sunday. It's all the same to me. But it's good to have you, Sip Society. Welcome back. Um, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And I subscribe to yours too. So, um, yeah. So, like I was saying, transparency actually comes before our intentions. So if I can be transparent with myself and my motives and why I'm doing something. Yeah. Michelle says I was very naive and it pissed me off when someone said that until I agreed and accepted it. It is hard. I would have to agree, Michelle. It is very hard to swallow these, as Alanis Morissette would say, jagged little pills. Jagged little pills. That's what they are. I would agree with it. Speaking of which, there's a show out called Ironheart, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's this and it's that." It was a great show. It was fantastic. It was really good. I liked it a lot. And people are like putting it down. Oh, I had the best one for it too. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Ironheart was a shame. A shame it was only 6 episodes. Great show. I would recommend it. I would. Um, Lead actor is fantastic or actress. I don't care if they're male or female. That stuff doesn't matter to me. The storyline was great. A lot of action. I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. And see, it's like you're not allowed to have anything good nowadays. Like if you have something good going on in your life and you post it, oh man, that just upsets people. God forbid. You go to the movies tonight, huh, Sip? I'm just gonna start calling you Sip. What movie you're going to see? All right, intentions. Intentions. Let's look it up. If you don't know by now, we look up words here. You know, they took the big book and they turned it into a plain language and it makes no sense anymore. It doesn't make sense anymore. I've read a part of it and it does not hit me the way that it did. The big book is written in plain English. Okay. Now, AA is about meeting other people where they are at. I get that. But appeasement is something entirely different. Definition of intentions. Ooh, cool. When the first one came out, I saw it in the movie theater a very long. And now everybody's running around, body shaming Jennifer Love Hewitt. You know what? She looks beautiful. She looks beautiful. I'm, yeah. She went from looking hot to beautiful. Good for her. Stop fucking body shaming people for God's sakes. And go work out yourself. See, that's the thing is when we're pointing, when we're saying that this is what's wrong with this person, I'm going to tell you what I hear. Low self-esteem. That's what I hear. What you're saying to me is I've got low self-esteem, so I'm going to shame this popular person so that other people will give me likes and loves. And if they agree with me, well, gosh, then I'm just accepted. Accepted by what? Air? Where are these people? Where are they? What are they doing for you in your life? Are they actually contributing to your life? This is what we call the Abilene effect. When a group of people get together and make a wrong decision based upon popularity and not the right thing, happens all the time in recovery, is a big thing right now. Right? Sip says, I agree. She's beautiful. She's not a teen anymore. She's a woman. I got fat too. Welcome to old age. I'm not the skinny pup I was back when I was a teenager either. Huh. Leave her alone. And thank you, Pam Anderson, for taking off your makeup. You're beautiful. All right. Intentions. A thing intend on aim or plan. The healing process of a wound. This isn't what I was kind of looking for. What does it mean when someone says intentions? Okay. Your aim or purpose for doing what you are doing right now. It is a reason for the action. Here, why am I doing, why See, it happens every time I do this, every time I go live. I have a topic, and if it isn't a topic and it isn't the daily reflection, it's a topic of something that I am seeing somewhere else that needs to be addressed. In this case, a lot of name calling going on. Everybody's making fun of these two people at a Coldplay concert. It's all over the place, for God's sakes. The demise of other people. If you enjoy the demise of other people, you do not need to follow me, because I don't, I'm empathic and I don't need that crappy thinking around me. I'm gonna be honest on that. I don't need it. Okay? I'm a Virgo, man. I'm used to it, and I've been different all my life. I'm used to not having friends. I, I prefer to be alone a lot. It's too much for me. Well, it's not too much for me. It's just my willingness to do things seems to dissipate as I get older. I hope that makes sense. It'll make sense as you start getting older. You could also say pick your battles, things like that. But what are my intentions? What are my intentions for the daily try? What is that? Um, sometimes I'm angry and I'm coming on here to 10th step it, get it off my chest, figure out what the right thing is. Sometimes a good thing happens or I see something enlightening and I like to share that. These are all motives. These are all motives, right? And my motives drive my intentions, right? Like, you ever watch like Law and Order, LA Law, some of these other things? They're like, yeah, but what was the motive? They always need to find the motive. We kind of want to know why they did that and what was the precursor, because we don't want to repeat it, right? Right? That's why we need to find that part out. So for an alcoholic who needs to take things, who needs to do, I always need to seem to go a little bit further than the non-alcoholic. I don't use the word normal here because then everybody's like, even though you know what I'm talking about, oh, there's no such thing as normal. Well, no shit. But in this case, you know what I mean. So I say non-alcoholic and I avoid the whole fight. See, getting older makes you wiser, because to me it's just a word. But just like there was a word earlier that I didn't really like, huh? Yeah. So I'm willing to meet people where they're at, and I will admit there's a little bit of appeasement in there. I would agree with that. See, not everything can be perfect. Doesn't always need to be perfect. So what are my motives? If I'm going to do something, if I'm going to post something, or maybe I'm just going somewhere, right? My intentions are almost always in line with my attitude. If I'm serene and things are good, I tend to do things that are good. But when I let myself get wrapped up in things like worldly clamors, I come on here and I get mad. Huh. So yes. Now, is a positive attitude always going to make it good? No. Right? Because there's this thing, it's called toxic positivity. And it's when we use positivity for all of our answers. Okay? Positivity is a feeling, not a solution. It's just a feeling. And what is a feeling? A feeling is a dividend from an action. Whether it be your action or somebody else's action, a feeling is a dividend from an action produced by an intention which had motive. That's it. So what does it come back to? Rigorous honesty. Rigorous honesty. I love it when my therapist says this. Is that what you really want, Dion? Because she knows me well enough. She knows what I. She's starting to figure out what I want and what I don't want. I don't make it easy for anybody to get to really know me. I don't do it on purpose. It's just kind of the way I am. It's part of my defense mechanisms. I've been hurt a lot in this fucking world. And if you think I'm going to go out of my way to get hurt again, no, I ain't gonna do that. I will forgive, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna hang out with you. But if that's not, at the same time, I'm going to attract what I am. I go through this a lot with new people. But I love her, Dion. You just met her, dude. Oh, but I love her. You literally met her 2 days ago. You're not in love with her. I don't say that. I tell an alcoholic something like that, they're going to take that as advice and tell you to piss off. Right? So what it becomes is you have to become something worth having. And I don't mean that in a mean way. Right? And I'll give you a great indicator on this. What happened to all your drinking friends when you quit drinking? They just kind of disappeared. Okay. And there's something that goes around. If the people that were your friends when you were drinking aren't around, they're not your friends. Bullshit. Maybe they were just tired of your crap. Don't you remember being an alcoholic? You tried to be the best friend that you could be. You tried to be the best husband, the best wife. It's just that we didn't have the skills. We didn't have the tools to do it. I was naive. That didn't make me a horrible friend. It made me spiritually sick. So even saying that about God's children, that's not cool. Well, they weren't your friends. How the fuck do you know? Right? This is how it happened in my family. Dion, would you get sober again? Would you get sober? Because I got sober. I was sober for 12 years. And oh my God, it was just the end of the world in the family. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm the scapegoat. I'm the black sheep. So I was under constant, microscoping. All right. I got sober. And at one point, I'm having not heart surgery. I was having 2 stents put in my left artery through the calf. It's called calf. Okay. So it wasn't surgery. It wasn't open heart surgery. I got a couple of stents, right? But I had a heart attack. And my wife had called my family, which I could understand. But she would have asked, I would have told her, don't fucking call them, please. Don't call them. Okay. Now, everybody but my mother and my stepdad, who probably told them this is a very, very bad idea on your part, right? So I included my older brother, my younger sister, the man who raised me, my older brother's wife, my younger sister's husband. Okay. And they all sat there and told my wife how she needed to leave me. Is that the right thing to do? Several of these people are in Al-Anon. My older brother has a master's in psychology. Now suddenly they are preventionists, they are interventionists. No. I'm gonna tell you something. If it wasn't for my wife, I would not fucking be here. And they are mad at me for that. A good chunk of my family is mad at me for that. Because I found out about it 2 years later and I reamed all their asses. I told them, I put a cease and desist order on them. I'm like, don't you ever, ever, ever do that. And since that point, they've just taken it as the end all. But I don't need those people in my life. Right? I've redeveloped my relationship with my sister. My mom and I get along great. Get along with my stepdad. He's a great. My stepdad was the best thing that ever happened to my mom. I'm so happy for her. The man that raised me, he's miserable. He has an alcoholic wife who tells him what to do all the fucking time. Now, are these things that I need to get wrapped up in? No. Not even sure where I was going with that, why I even told that story. Not sure. Because I think forgiveness was probably going through my head. Now, have I forgiven them for that? Yes. Do you think I'm going to sit around and hang out with them? No. No. I cleaned my side of the street. They didn't want to do a ninth step. Several people in my family said, no, I'm not doing your ninth step. Not my problem. I'm still going to clean my side of the street. I just wrote a letter to them that I burned. There you go. But I will not sit there and continue to be the black sheep of the family. I'm going to tell you something. It's usually the black sheep that makes the changes in the family. Now, I want to talk about my immediate family. I'm married. I have 4 kids. I have 5 grandchildren. They are all in my life. Some nieces, things like that. I've got some blood family in my life. They all enjoy being in my life because I've changed. Oh, I know where I was getting to with that. They begged me to quit drinking, and then when I did quit drinking, they still wanted nothing to do with it. They do. See, they need me to be the scapegoat or they don't survive. If they don't have somebody to point the finger at, then their self esteem is going to plummet and they're going to commit suicide. I will not say unalived. I will not say any of that crap. If people want to cut it, go for it. It's suicide. And it should be a shocking word because it is a shocking word. It is supposed to hit you in the fucking chest because it hurts and it's okay. It's all right. But they need me without, you know, and I doubt that they get together and stuff like that. They go on family vacations. Thing. I'm not invited. I'm not even sure I'll be invited to the man that raised me. I'm not sure I'll be invited to his funeral. I might be. And if I am, I will go and I will be totally respectful. Do I still have some anger towards him? Yeah, I do. Is that his problem? Nope. But sure, every now and then I think about things and I still get a little angry, but it doesn't control my day anymore. Big difference, right? So in that case, what would be my intentions? My intentions would be to go and comfort anybody that needs comforting because I'm that kind of person. I'm willing to put my other stuff aside. Now, if they want me to get on a plane and go somewhere and do it, yeah, probably not going to see me. All right. Man, that went left field, huh? Left field, catch it. Ah, home run. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Michelle, good to see you. Sip. It's cool to getting to know you. I appreciate you being here. I'm looking for speakers. I'm going to start announcing this here. Give me a second here. I've got to change this because it drives me nuts. There. Now it's clear again. I don't know if it was off for you, but it was for me. I'm looking for speakers for the podcast. I want to start doing at least 2 podcasts a month. So I am looking for speakers. Also, our AA group, my home group, Grassroots, we're looking for speakers for that too on Saturday nights. If anybody would like to join us, um, SIP. Here's the thing: when people find me and they come back a second time, it usually means that they're doing something right. I'm, these are things that I know, right? And if you've got SIP Society, the Sober Diaries, I wouldn't mind having you on the show. Let's do a little bit of plug. I'm always looking for like-minded people, right? Because there's not that many of us. There's hundreds of thousands of recovery coaches and life coaches and things like that. But it's not often that I'm finding people with true intentions. And I know that people that can sit here and listen to me talk about this stuff because I don't talk about easy stuff. If I wanted to talk about easy shit, I'd go talk to my neighbor. Okay. But I don't. I like deep, meaningful conversations that come to a solution. So when I find somebody that Comes back, that means they're like-minded. So I know we haven't talked before, but there's the offer. Not only that, but I have great intuition and I trust it. And my gut says, you're probably a good person because you could tolerate me. You attract what you are. God will make sure of that. Yes, He will. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love you. Sip says, I'm open to that, but I'm not in AA. I took different meeting route. That's great. No, you don't need to come on and talk about AA. No, you can. I do things a little different. Okay. So the podcast, it's called Raw Recovery. Okay. And I'm the first person to say AA is not the only way. It is not the only way. It is my preferred way, but AA has no claim on alcoholism. There are a lot of different ways. So the reason that I would want you on more now is because you didn't go through AA. We need different experiences from different places. We do. Absolutely, we do. But that doesn't mean you need to come on and talk about AA. So, like, right. So, when I started the show, it was Raw Recovery with Dion Miller, special guest Sip Society, right? And I changed it. I'm like, this show isn't about me. The show isn't about Dion. I'm the host. I hit start, I hit go live. That's what I do. It's the other person telling their story. So now it's Raw Recovery with Sip Society, hosted by Dion. Let's show a little bit of humility here. I have all sorts of different people and pathways. Absolutely, I do. So yeah, yeah. Thanks for letting me describe that because we're not stuck in one area. Yes, I have the 12 steps and 12 traditions behind me. I'm a big AA person, but I'm more than an AA member too, just like you are, right? Because if I can help, we can help anybody from the sober curious to the alcoholic who is beyond human aid. Absolutely. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I didn't think it'd be 40 minutes of it, but that's Dion. Probably figured out I love to run my mouth. I love being the center of attention. I'll admit it. I love it. In the right arena. In the right arena. All right. Yeah, feel free. Yeah, I'm just gonna put my phone number in. Everybody's got my number. Feel free to reach out if you feel comfortable. No pressure. I am very safe. I don't work that way. All right. Thank you, everyone. I love you. I'm ending for reals this time. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.